Okay.
Greetings, Simon. How you doing?
Oh, hello, Miss Canada. How you doing?
I'm fabulous.
Oh, let's give that a round of applause. Of course. How you feeling today? How you feeling this beautiful day?
I'm
You know,
well.
the
Very
family, everybody all right out there? Everybody all right
Everybody
in Canada?
fantastic. Fantastic.
That's
At least
right.
to my knowledge.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
hmm
So we got actually 3 minutes before we bring on this beautiful guest from out of Taranto.
Yes.
So and part of your hometown there, right? Your neck of the woods, right?
hmm
Yeah. So I know there's so much going on in the world today, and keeping the discipline of getting back to basics is not an easy task because a lot of us are distracted. So I'm very excited about the show we got coming up. Like any other show, I'm very excited. So I'm sure we're gonna have a great time with this beautiful sister coming up. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Give her another round of applause.
Right.
I know my applause button is all over the place. Let's give that another round of applause.
Round of applause. Oh, yes.
Let's do
No.
it.
Yes. Yes.
You can hear it now.
Yes. Very clear.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. All righty. Hey, who's watching us now, man? We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're also broadcasting on Kerry-Ann Ingram's YouTube. So make sure you follow my dear Kerry-Ann Ingram and what she does and how she does everything in the world. She's doing great things. So make sure y'all show her some respect in these streets now. I don't care where you see her at, you make sure you show her some respect. All right. Don't let me have to come after you in the ghost realm. I will come after you in the ghost realm. That's how we deal with. That's how I deal with things.
I have an
You know.
announcement at the end of the show that.
Oh, you want to? Okay. You at the end of the show. Okay. You want to wait till that?
Well, I could talk
Okay.
about it now if we have time.
Well, we got 2 minutes. If you want to say something, or you want to give it towards the end. Wait till you want to do it now.
Well, I can drop a little thing. So
Drop a bomb.
on the 8th, so August 8th, I'm doing a meditation in the park, sound meditation in the park in Toronto. And if you're in Toronto, please come. I will share the details on my social and on my mailing list tomorrow or Friday. So watch out for that. I will be unavailable for a week, but regardless, just pay attention. It's going to be amazing. And in these times, we definitely need to cleanse and really find balance. So, yeah.
Oh man, let's give that a round of applause. Yes, why not? So happy for you, girl. So happy for you. And that's good that you're starting those different alignment things and trying to help align people as much as we can. They need it.
I
They
did
need to be in alignment.
the same idea last year on the 8th on the Lionsgate portal. That's what this 8 is. And this year it's 888. It's 888. It's really powerful, the energies that are coming. So we need to be in communion and really being in the elements, helping the body.
That's right. And people better stay focused. People better stay focused. Matter of fact, it's now 8:00, so let's get ready to get her on. I want you to do the honors of bringing this beautiful sister on. I'm going to put the flyer in front, and I want you to do the honors. Go ahead, my dear. Go ahead.
Thank you. So tonight we have Nairobi Vision. She's a registered clinical herbalist with the Ontario Herbalist Association, certified breathwork facilitators. Y'all, we need to get our breath in alignment. So, and she is the founder of Elemental Notes, Elemental Notes Inc. Let me be correct about that. And she is just a joy. She's a wealth of knowledge. I can't wait for you all to meet her. And welcome, Nairobi.
Let's give her a well-deserved round of applause as we welcome Nairobi. What's up, Nairobi? How you doing? How you doing, sis? We can't hear you. We can't.
Oops. I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Something going on with you, girl. We gotta make sure you're all
I
right.
was talking to you in the ghost realm.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're honored to have you, my dear. I'm trying to make sure this thing looks good on screen here. Everything is, you're right, everything is happening today. I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna line this thing up. We're gonna line this up. I ain't playing with none of this. I ain't playing with none of y'all. Not today. We lining things up. There we go. We lined up. Okay, great. Oh man. Well, we're honored to have you, my dear. Oh my goodness. And let me make sure we handle the business first. Not only is she a guest, she like Kerry-Ann says, she's a registered clinical herbalist, RH baby, and with the Ontario Herbalist Association, OHA, so and certified breathwork facilitator and founder. That is, let me tell you something. That is a powerful thing because breath is definitely important. Matter of fact, I just bought a very good book on breath the other day. Matter of fact, I bought this book here, The Yogi Science of Breath. Bought this the other day, so I've been practicing all the stuff that they've been talking about, and I want to make sure people hit you up at your website. Your website is elementalnotes.ca, and her IG is at elementalnotes.ca. And of course, we're going to talk about the donations that for a village in Ghana. There's a PayPal right here, link right here. I'm going to put it in the. I think I pinned it up to the chat already. I'm going to see if I pinned it up again and make sure you go to our website. Just want to make sure all that is taken care of, and I want to make sure I put you. I'm gonna put you, and I'm gonna get on the bottom there. I'm gonna stay on the bottom. That's where I'm gonna stay on the bottom. All right, great. So thank you very much again for coming through, man, and sharing, getting ready to share your wisdom with us. Now, wait a minute. How did you and Kerry-Ann meet?
Who's going to answer that, me or Kerry-Ann?
Any one of y'all.
How did we meet?
I kind of want to hear what how Kerry-Ann's going to tell it. I love how she explains things, and I love the background, by the way.
Thank you.
So we met in an incubator. We were doing a program together. And I feel like it was just synchronicity, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of started talking, and then we had a conversation that led to us having a deeper conversation, and we're here today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't an incubator.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, I'm glad that happened. So, and in an incubator, wait a minute, hold on. What kind of incubator?
A business incubator.
Right.
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Learning how to navigate the waters, the entrepreneurial waters, with a little bit of assistance and guidance.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. And how many people were there in this incubation session? You know how many people were?
It sounds so terrible. We were incubated. We incubated together. We're in the womb or something.
Yeah, right?
How many people were in? It wasn't a lot.
No, there's different cohorts and different groups. So it was pretty split up. But yeah, we had the pleasure of being in the same one, which was really wonderful. And that has carried over. Yeah.
Wow. You know, now are you now Nairobi? Are you from Canada? Born in Canada, or were you born somewhere else? Please share with our audience where you from.
Exactly. I was born in Canada.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
You're like, oh, I'm born here.
I'm Canadian. I was born on Canadian soil.
Canadian soil. Anyway, your family's from where?
So my parents and my grandparents and my great grandparents are from Jamaica.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. J.A. Which part? Do you remember which part?
I do. Clarendon and St. Mary's.
That's St. Mary we come from. Yo, that's where my grandfather come from too. Grandfather come from, my papa come from that too. Be proud of me, girl. St. Mary we come from.
Yeah, it's weird though, because when you're born in Canada and you're asked where you're from and you say, oh, I'm Jamaican, then you're asked, were you born in Jamaica?
Yeah.
And you say, no, I'm born in Canada. But if you say I'm Canadian or I'm born in Canada, well, where are you really from? Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't really know how to answer. So I just, yeah.
Pretty much 90%. Well, all of us in Canada are immigrants, like all of us. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. It makes sense. You know, 'cause I have family in Canada, I have family in England, you know, the regular places that we travel to.
Right.
When we leave, when we want to leave our parents and get away from them, then we'll go England and run that and run up America and run them.
Make money. Go far and go make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Go far where you can yam steak. Cross it.
And they get here and they're like, what is this? What do you mean I have to go to work at 4 a.m. in the snowstorm?
Yes. What? Yes, it's cold.
Cold. It's cold. It's cold. That's not it. It's not cold. It's cold. But you do a very important work throughout the Canadian area, of course. And being a clinical herbologist is not an easy task, and it takes a lot of in-depth study, especially in various types of herbology. What were some of the types of herbology you had to study in order for you to become a registered clinical herbologist?
So clinical herbalist, so that I don't know. I've never heard. Is there a difference between a herbologist and a herbalist?
Don't worry about it. Just
okay.
Herbologist, whatever.
So I take a deep breath because I'm very happy to have studied this field. It was definitely challenging because when you start learning about herbs from your own diaspora and there's limited information, or the names have been changed, it kind of, it's like a dagger to the heart. So I have studied Afro-Caribbean herbs, indigenous herbs, TCM or traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic herbs, and of course the Western materia medica. So all of the herbs that are used in the West. So I have a pretty advanced
background.
No, I like to say arsenal. I have a pretty
arsenal. Oh, you want the arsenal? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fitting given the times we're in, right? Yeah, I have a pretty advanced arsenal that I can pull from.
No, and that's good to have that, because when you're well-rounded in it, then people will show respect, especially when you have the cosmetics. One thing Dr. Laila Africa used to say, he only got the cosmetics because that's what people required, because you can go and study it yourself. Like Dr. Sebi never really became anything as far as studying under anyone. He just went into the forests and did what he had to do. But Dr. Africa, coming from a military background and being a military nurse, realized that he had to go to the science of it and go deep and go study all of that and then get the certificates, because our people respect certificates for some reason. And I understand I remember one time in a class, he said, you want the psychology of people to really come to you, wear a white coat. Wear a white coat when you're examining and dealing with people, and they will actually, the psychology of the white coat, our people still are drawn to that. I even have a white coat just because he said it.
I'm gonna get myself a white coat.
Go ahead, Kerry.
My white coat, but I feel like when you wear the white coat, you have to do like a Superman pose, or like shake it out from behind you, like stand there and
right.
the white coat, like you walk in the building.
Please take a picture of that when you do, and I would love to see that. I would love to see that. That would be
Oh,
beautiful.
man.
That's hilarious.
Yes, go ahead.
So
Yeah,
now,
go ahead, Kerry.
tell when you first like embarked into this calling, you know, what drove you? What was the catalyst that made you say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to help the collective with?
Well, it didn't start when I got into this field. I feel like it started way before that. You know, growing up, I was told I had asthma when I was in the 3rd grade, and it's because I hyperventilated after losing in the finals of a soccer match, you know?
Right.
And, you know, thankfully, like my mom, we grew up with my mother teaching Black heritage within the school board. So we grew up learning about different inventors and scientists that looked like us that we would never hear about here.
Right.
Bringing us back to history. And that's when there was a budget in the school board for that type of learning.
Yeah.
So when I think about it, you know, I feel like I grew up watching my mom doing something similar, and she never gave me an inhaler at that time. And, you know, getting a little bit older, it happened again when I was in the 7th grade, and I went to a different doctor and they said the same thing. And I took an inhaler, not knowing that for the next few years, I would be addicted to an inhaler, feeling like I couldn't breathe. And I was very athletic. I was playing many different sports, but I was constantly sucking back this inhaler. And I just remember other health issues happening and being told it was something and trying something different and seeing that it wasn't what I was being told. And it's not to say that, you know, all diagnosis is incorrect, but some of it was for me in my path. And it just made me question things. I think the changing, well, there were 2 changing moments. One was at one point I would be walking home and I didn't know why, but every time I walked down a specific street, my chest would get tight. And I started taking the inhaler, but I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And I spoke to another physician, and he said, look, this is what the inhalers do. And he broke it down from a scientific perspective.
Wow.
The blue one does this one. The orange one does this one. The purple one does this one. If you want to try to weed yourself off, stop using the one that gives you the fastest relief. Try to figure it out yourself. And if a certain amount of time passes and you just can't do it anymore, try the orange one first, which is not instant relief. It's what you take when you're not feeling well.
Right.
And so I started doing that, and slowly, you know, more and more time would pass while I had this tight chest that I could actually just try to breathe. And another, a holistic advisor that I had at the time had said, you know, try using lavender oil. And I put lavender oil on my nose and like right here above my lip and all over my neck and my chest. And eventually I just didn't need the inhaler anymore. And I drank like warm fluids to help to get the phlegm or the mucus that was building up in my chest. But growing up and seeing that, and then being pregnant with my daughter and having a pregnancy injury, and the doctor asking me if I had that injury rather than telling me it was an injury I had was kind of, it was crazy. It was kind of mind blowing. So when my daughter was born, I just said, you know, she doesn't know what this tastes like, and I'm not going to put a bunch of seasoning on it to make her think that's what it tastes like. I'm going to give her the pure raw foods. I'm not going to do canned stuff or jarred stuff, because Gerber is actually owned by a tobacco company. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I didn't.
Yes.
So I just started doing really like basic raw things for her and then for myself. And eventually I got into this field because of a crisis that happened. I was stopped on my path, and everything that I was doing at the time, like, you know, I was making 6 figures, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I started turning to holistic approaches, and that's when I got into breathwork in 2015. And my body, I shed over 50 pounds. I wasn't working out. Just going to the sauna and breathing and eating well, and seeing that it defied what is being said we need to do. I continued on that journey, and I came across somebody who was teaching about healing diabetes. They had this pyramid chart, and at the top of the chart was meat, and at the bottom of the chart was greens. And the reason that greens were at the bottom of the chart was because when you eat greens, you know, the glycemic index is really low, and it just helps with recovery in your body. And they were saying that the things at the top of the pyramid are the least amount of things you want. That's why they're in such a small space.
Right.
And it made sense. And it was, you know, I was already like using herbs and all this other stuff at home. And I feel like as Afro-Caribbean people, we can all relate to that, because that's where our ancestry comes from. And I asked this herbalist, where did you study? And I asked a few questions, and then I looked up the program, and the program had been it had a waiting list. Like, there were people who were waiting for 3 years, and I actually got interviewed and got in within 2 weeks. Wow. So I knew it was my calling. Like, there were no blockages, and it just flowed. Yeah. You know, so I think that answers your question. That was a long.
No, that was beautiful. You gave
all right.
a lot of dense information that helped to answer other questions that are tied into it. So yeah, thank you.
You did a good job. Let me give that a round of applause. You did a great job. You did a great whole documentary too. That's so funny. That's funny. You know, and going down that path, what now? Have you noticed that any of your family members, like, would you find that your grandparents was into herbs from the Caribbean and all that? Did you ever notice that when you was younger?
When I was younger, no, I wasn't paying attention to none of that stuff.
I was paying attention. I don't know. You say you didn't pay attention.
Not in good old Canada, eh?
Yeah. She said A. I can't believe you said A. Oh, wait a minute. No, not that.
No, I wasn't paying attention to any of that. I was focused on like sports and just being the best athlete out here.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. What? Not even when you travel back and forth to Jamaica, did you notice that? No.
No. Like, the funny thing is, when I did start to notice it, it was like blinders came off of my eyes. You know, because my grandpa, especially, he's all to this day, he has his garden in the back and grows his things, and he makes his stuff, and like a tincture. We call tinctures here, but in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, they're not calling them tinctures. It's like, yo, throw the herb in the rum and let it,
Yeah.
Exactly. And I remember hearing, he had soaked some herb, and I was like, isn't that going to be strong because of the type of herb he was soaking? And no, it's good. You just take a little bit. And I'm like, Grandpa, what are you doing? Yeah. But now I think about it's the medicine that I went to school to learn about.
Yeah.
But I do talk about things from a scientific perspective, because there's a lot of woo-woo, and it's not to say that woo-woo isn't real or put a label on it, but it's the stuff that I provide is scientifically backed. I do the research to talk about it from a scientific perspective. What are the active ingredients? What does the biochemistry look like? What affinity does it have to the system? What actions are you looking for to support the person through the transition? Intuitively, what comes to mind? So I'm pulling from many different diasporas,
Right.
and creating what is my own now, and learning from one of my elders in the community. I did mention to you guys, I'm one of 2 registered herbalists of Afro-Caribbean descent in Ontario. And the other, call her Mama, she's such a beautiful soul, and she actually grows the herbs. Like there's a plethora of herbs. Have either of you ever been in a greenhouse?
Oh yeah, I have.
A greenhouse with herbs though?
No, more flowers, not herbs.
Like
Wait, what type of herbs?
Oh, no, not a grow house, a greenhouse.
Greenhouse, greenhouse.
All different kinds of herbs, from thyme to oregano to rosemary to African cress or bay leaves or lemon leaf or like, ashwagandha. You can hundreds of herbs. And I realized how like rare this is, but I go up there to visit her all the time. And when I walk in, it's like I'm being baptized by the aroma of all these herbs in one. It's so peaceful. And like, there's nothing that compares to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I realize that throughout that, and people that are just tuning in, we are speaking with the great Nairobi Vision, and she's out of TKTO, Toronto, registered clinical herbalist. Let me say herbalist. Herbalist. That's ganja. The word. That's the word. That's just my own from back in the day. And Ontario Herbalist Association, and of course certified Breathwork, which we're going to get into also, and founder of Elemental Notes. And of course, make sure you hit her up at her website. I like to keep on promoting that, elementalnotes.com, and her .canadaca.com, and also IP at elementalnotes.ca. Okay, so make sure you show that respect. And scrolling on the bottom constantly is her PayPal link, and she's doing some great work in the community as far as of Ghana in a village. She seems to have adopted a village, so to speak, because that's what they do, is adopting a village, and they're doing trying to make sure that they have the appropriate things in that village to help the children and the family grow to be better people on this planet Earth, and doing great work. We want to definitely applaud that. Let me give that a round of applause. Very much. Whoop, whoop, whoop. No. She straight up Arsenio hogged me.
I miss Arsenio.
What yeah, me too. What are some of the deeper spiritual components of doing herbs, and also helping people to understand that it's not just the herbs that are helping, but also their body and how they're thinking and how they're spiritually balanced also? How does that work with what you do?
So in one of my in the teaching that I have from Mama, actually, she's taught me about how herbalism is studied in Ghana, and how it's a family practice. And, one person may be in tune with the herbs on an intuitive level, and another works with the herbs, making the actual medicines, and another grows the herbs. Like how everyone has their part, but they collectively build to be this force, this healing force. And I often have, because I do a lot of fasting, a lot of things to help keep my system clean, I often have communication with herbs, plants. Like I'll dream about them, or sometimes I'll see a plant and I don't know what it is, and then all of a sudden it's in my it's in my physical presence.
Yeah.
And I also work with a very ancient and rare type of herbal medicine called spagyrics. Yes.
Okay.
It's an alchemical form of medicine making where rather than getting rid of the herb after it's been soaked, whether it's like a tea or in this case, in alcohol, it goes through a burning process to extract the trace minerals and electrolytes. And then those electrolytes and trace minerals are added back into the formula's active ingredients, which makes the formula much more bioavailable and potent and concentrated. Essentially, you're like picking the plant apart to bring it back together again. And when you do that, your tissues, because we need minerals, it just soaks up the formula. So when you're engaged in spagyrics, the plant, it's like, I mean, they're alive. They have spirits. They have spirit as well, and they communicate with you. You know. So I use a lot of. Sorry.
No. I said right. They have spirit. 'Cause I hug trees, and I even when I grab plants, I make sure I don't snatch them up, and I ask them if I can hold them. I was taught that years ago.
Yeah, you have to ask permission.
Ask permission. Yeah. You know,
but
you know, from your perspective, what do they say to you when they talk?
It's what they show me. It's not really what they say. It's I guess they're speaking through showing. Like with spagyrics, there's certain times that you're supposed to work with that plant. They say that the plants have affinities to planets, and planets have times here where they're the strongest. So when you work with that plant in that time, it helps to really bring out the essence of that plant. And if I'm engulfed in a spagyric, let's say black seed, for instance.
Black seed, yes.
I will just I will just wake up at the time I'm supposed to start the process. And it will show. It's like something came up in my dream about black seed, and I'm awake. Like, and that the first time it happened, I was like, it happened with a herb called L-campaign, and it was like a guru floating in the air with his legs crossed, but it was L-campaign. It was like the physical embodiment in a human. And I woke up and I was like, oh, L-campaign's the guru. You know, and I looked it up, and it really helps with your lungs, and it's a prebiotic to the probiotic. It actually feeds the probiotics. It's also known as inula, which is another word for inulin. And, you know, in order to get our gut populated with good bacteria, we need probiotics. And our probiotics need to eat, so they need prebiotics. So it's a feeder to the feeder, right? So it started happening with ashwagandha, which I actually have right here.
Okay.
This is one of my formulas.
So that's on your website. That's on your website, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll show that in a few. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's ashwagandha, and then intuitively, I just listen. And that's another thing that Mama teaches me. You need to listen, you know? So I just quiet this and openness.
When you were younger, was it hard for you to listen?
Oh, yes. I'm a rebel.
That's why I asked the question.
Rebel. Don't let the dimples fool you. You know what, Kerry? I feel like we get away with more because we got the dimples.
Yeah. I do get away with more. Them dimples will catch somebody.
Speaking of kids, I know that you work with kids, which is really beautiful to teach them from a young age about this range of healing. What is it that you focus on when you're working with kids, and how do they interact at such a young, innocent age? You know, being that the plants are so intuitive and they're so intuitive, I would love to hear how that.
Okay. So it depends on the group. I take some time when I know it does, whether they're kids or adults, whoever it is, I take some time to just listen before I put together what it is that I'm going to do with them. Yeah. And when I do that, it's like a vibe, you know? Yeah. So sometimes I've worked with kids that, like, at a basketball camp, shout out to 50 for free. I did an athletic performance workshop with them, I should say, not seminar, where I showed them herbs that help with joint health and inflammation, and focus, you know, and different things like that, teaching them within the language that they're speaking about. And, you know, athletes, it's easy to lose their attention. Like, who wants to sit down for 40 minutes and learn about herbs? Learn about plants. And that's how some kids think. So you have to make it spicy and experiential, and speak their language. So, you know, I for that one, I spoke their language and they loved it. Like, they soaked it up. And for another one, I actually have one coming up next week. I'm working with the University of Toronto, Scarborough campus, with their community development sector. And because I fall in the lines of STEM under the science realm, and I use technology in my practice, we're looking at things from a science base and teaching them how to use medicine for preventative health as opposed to aftercare. You know, and that's one of the things that I focus on. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. With the kids, you know, I'll make it more experiential, more fun, more developmental, because the adults want to sit there and, like, learn, oh, you know, maybe I have fibroids and this will help with inflammation or pain or decreasing the mass, you know, or maybe my libido's been a bit low and I really want to go home to my wife and lay the pipe, you know. So this will keep the water in your mouth. So, taking this will do that, or this will boost my testosterone, or maybe my anxiety is through the roof and I just need to relax so I can get my work done. So the span is different. So with kids, I listen. And I think about when I was that age, if I would like it. And then I talk to my daughter about it. You know, how does this sound? How does this look? I make it engaging. I make it fun. I make it not boring, so that what they're learning is, you know, maybe down the road, whether they decide to do something in the science field or whatever, they're going to remember this conversation. It's planting seeds for future generations, so that no matter what happens, they know that there's alternatives. And that's the main focus. The main focus is sharing this information because it's not being shared with them.
Right.
Unless they're growing up with it in their home and their parents are directly teaching them. They're not learning this. There's a lack of education surrounding holistic health, holistic education, and health issues are rising, right?
Absolutely.
If we look at mental illness, 5 million people in Canada suffer from mental illness that are above the ages of 15. You know, 1 in 3 people take time off of work because of mental illness. Between 2002 and 2012, I can't remember the exact name of the disorder, but it spiked. It falls under the mental illness category, and it spiked from 2.6 to 5.2. So it doubled, you know, in the last 10 years. And then when we look at things like fibroids, if your mom has fibroids, or maybe your dad's mom had fibroids, maybe it's passed genetically down to you. what does that look like? How can you try to prevent it from becoming this huge mass before you even know what it is? You know, heart disease deaths surpass COVID deaths by 4 times. That's prominent in the Black community. Respiratory illness, 1 in 5 people have a respiratory illness. And then when we look at diabetes,
Wow. 1 in 5.
1 in 5 people. And when we look at diabetes, hypertension, there's so many things just because of the color of our skin that we're predisposed to. So how do we prevent this from becoming a thing, from becoming a huge thing that becomes uncontrollable and that we're playing catch up with to try to deal with? And I want to make it clear. I think that there's a place in our society for pharmaceuticals. They are effective, right? The problem lies in the long-term health risks that comes from being on them, or the side effects.
Right.
You know? Right. Because sometimes when you're taking one for too long, it leads to you having to take another and then another. Right. So it's understanding what these tools are for and how to use them. And the children, I feel like, are the best teachers. They're so blunt. They're so honest. They help me to make my seminars better. I always get feedback from my participants, and the kids have just brought this seed and made it a huge tree. Right. And it's so beautiful. Like, I'm getting tingles just thinking of it. It's so beautiful working with them. And I worked with kids with like behavioral exceptions, marginalized communities. I've worked with children in the LGBTQ 2+. Like, it doesn't matter where it is. You learn from them, and the best teachers are students.
I agree. So right? I totally like understand or overstand that a lot of the things that I'm just trying to watch my words. A lot of the things that we struggle with, it's based on how we are moving and acclimating within the world and the external elements that are poisoning us, if I can speak frankly. The food, the air, the soil, the water. So how do we, I don't know if this is something you have explored, but what advice would you give somebody who's like, I don't really have, or I want a way to live a healthy life, to have these herbs, or to include herbs in my daily health routine, but also I'm eating really crappy. And there's other elements that are affecting me and causing me to be in a degradative state. What would you say? Like, what advice would you give to that person?
Well, how I would give the advice is 2 different things. If I'm being very frank and blunt, a lot of people don't want to change until a crisis happened. It happened to me. And that's when I actually started making changes. We have the opportunity to learn through our own experiences or through other people's, and people tend to learn through their own. So there's a lot of unlearning that needs to take place. If I could speak directly without sugarcoating it, I would ask them, would you feed this to your baby? That's number 1. Number 2, do you know who you truly are? Like, what you're doing to yourself is causing harm, right? So if you value your life and you value yourself, are you looking at what your actions are actually doing to you? Because we're born in with this, it doesn't matter what we put on it. It doesn't matter what we buy, what's around us. We're in this from the day we take our first breath, before we even take our first breath, until our last. This is what you own. So are you investing in it, or are you taking away from it? Are you harming it? And taking accountability in knowing that where you are with your health position is directly usually, I'm not going to say in all cases, but in most cases, a reflection of the choices you've made, right? And do you want to change that? So that's where I would start. And if someone does want to change, they'll show you. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy to reverse things, and herbs take a lot longer to work. But the thing is, when we look past the Band-Aid at the root cause of what happened, then we can inherent healing it, or moving towards more of a healing position instead of sustaining something that's unsustainable.
Right.
So I wouldn't say it that way.
Why not?
But because it's not grasped. This is the thing. In this field, when you're working with people, you have to understand not everybody's on that level to receive that information in that way. And you need to learn to speak people's language, right? I'm very frank with, my consultations and my clients. I'll tell them if what they're doing is not something that I'm happy with. But at the end of the day, it's their choice. And if I'm not a good fit for them, then I'll let them know that.
Right.
I'm not in this. Don't get me wrong. We all have to make a living, but I'm not in this to be the next best wellness brand globally. I'm in this for not quantity, but quality.
Right.
So I just have conversations like I do with you guys. Like, what are you looking for? What do you want to do? Okay, so now I know what your goals are. These are my goals. Do we align? If we align, let's move forward. If we don't, let's go. And trust me when I tell you, I've had some clients where I'm like, really, bro? Really? Are you serious? Like, some who are just, paying me to work with them because of how I look. They're not serious about it. That's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Those dimples.
Those dimples fool you. Don't let the dimples fool you. I just have genuine conversations with people. And if I do a lot of referrals, I work with a lot of local practitioners. It takes a village for the things that I am not proficient in or don't specialize in. I know others who are. I've built great business relationships with many practitioners based on that. And I tell people, like, it's not all about one thing. Sometimes you need to use things in tandem. There's different fractals of information that will help you to get to where you need to be.
Powerful. Let me give that a round of applause. Good job. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yes, whoop. Whoop it, girl. Whoop it. Dimples and all. Dimples and all. I know a lot of people that study Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. What have you found? Because I remember going to a place in Chinatown, and my friend, she had to really say the Chinese language to get the appropriate and proper herb.
Wow.
Because you have to speak something. You have to know, especially if you're dealing. You could deal with other folks as far as other Black people into it. But when you go to China, they want to hear. They're about an honor system. You better learn their language to be able to find out what the real Gota Cola is, or what the real, ginger is, or what the real, those things, certain things that they'll keep up in the front, that's garbage, but in the back is where they got the original herbs at. Have you noticed that even in the field of studying Chinese medicine also? And
of course.
Yes.
It's in every language. And that's what really grinded my gears with learning about the Afro-Caribbean herbs, because our actual names were not in the materia medica. It was the westernized names. With TCM, they have centuries of documentation on their herbs, on their formulas, and naturopaths. A lot of naturopaths use TCM. They study TCM because of that. the information hasn't been tainted or diluted or colonized. It's all there. So if you're going to get Chinese medicine, yes, you need to know the name of the herb or the formula so that they know what you're talking about. And if you have one word that's off, you're talking about a whole different formula.
Wow.
So you
Wow.
it's kind of fascinating. But they also use everything, like earthworms, squirrel feces, and all types of stuff. How they figured out that this stuff heals certain things, I have no idea. That boggles my mind. But deer antlers and things like that. But it's in the formulas, depending on what you're working with. And they speak about qi, the qi being off, kidney qi, spleen qi, liver qi. It's really just beautiful if you look at how each community studies the herbal world and how they
and a lot of it is going back traditionally. So when you say how do they figure this out, these are tested and tried over years.
Yes,
all the time. Like we swear on Cersei in Jamaica. Cersei can't fix a broken bone as far as they're concerned. It's like Robitussin in America. Like Chris Rock used to talk about this Robitussin.
Put some Robitussin on it.
Put some tussin on it.
Robitussin's our Vaseline in the Caribbean community. Anyway, so did you know that Cersei is actually bitter melon, which is Ayurvedic? Okay, that's not taught. No, do you understand what I'm saying? We don't learn about Cersei. We learn in the studying as a herbalist in Ontario. We don't learn about Cersei. We learn about bitter melon. There's no correlation to Cersei. Absolutely none. And this is what I'm talking about. Just grinds my gears.
And that's very interesting because they say between 80 and 90% of the world's most healing herbs are found on the island of Jamaica, our island. And that's from, the origin, and also import, export, traveling, and things of that nature. So it's very interesting that the names that we use would not be included in the very widely used books and periodicals that they use to study. That's very interesting. Yet they come to the country to pull the herbs and to take what they want.
Right. In a sense. So even when you look up the common name, not the common name, the Latin name or the scientific name, Mamordica, Cersei doesn't come up.
No, that's what I found out too. Yeah, about 10 years ago, it doesn't come up. And I have dictionaries of this stuff all in my arsenal here too. So I understand.
And so these are the things I teach. Right. I specialize in, I love our plants. I love plants, period. But I teach Afro-Caribbean herbs, and I always make sure that my seminars and workshops are centered around Afro-Caribbean herbs. I touch on other herbs. The only herbs I will leave alone for sure is the indigenous herbs, indigenous to Canada, because I feel like if you want that information, you need to go and find it from them.
What's indigenous to Canada?
So
that's what's in my head too. Go ahead. I'm glad you asked that question.
I mean the Aboriginal, the indigenous people to Canada. So
but what are the herbs? Do you know?
Oh yeah, sage is definitely well known. From a cleansing perspective, but it does the same thing inside of us. Why they use sweetgrass, cedar. What kind of cedar amongst what people. So they have their way of using plants that's very sacred. And it's just to me, it's just, I want to respect their teachings. And I do have siblings that are half indigenous. So yeah, I'll teach about everything, but I might throw like cedar and sage in there, but I leave their practices sacred for them. I feel like they've been through enough here. Um, yeah, so it's just my way of respecting and honoring them.
Okay. It's funny. I'm currently doing a cleanse to get myself in right alignment for major fasting. My Zencation, I called it. I coined it that years ago when I started, probably 6 years ago, or maybe 7. Anyway, I love the fact that we can remove things out of our body that are toxic and harmful with the natural elements of herbs. What are your number one or number 3? Give me 3 top herbs that you love for removing toxicity out of the body. You
For
could choose
detoxing.
different organs.
Hmm. 3 top herbs that I love, or 3 top herbs that'll be amazing for you?
That you love, that you feel is. I know that everybody is different and everyone has different issues, but what you have found that heavy metal or liver, things of
Mhm.
that nature.
So I really like dandelion
Mhm.
because the root and the leaf do 2 different things. They work in tandem your liver, your lymphatic system, and your kidneys
Yeah.
with purging it. I always go to, for a detox, I always go to senna with a little bit of milk thistle and ginger. Milk
Mhm.
thistle helps to regenerate your liver 4 times faster than any other herb out there. And senna is going to help to wash you out.
Mhm.
And then the ginger helps with the circulation. And of course, I love spice,
Yeah.
you know. And then I also, so I would say I do things in combo, but the next one would be between Shazandra and black seed.
Mm.
Black seed, they say, is good for everything except death.
Really, I've never heard that. That's awesome.
Like if you feel a headache coming on and you
Yeah,
take some black seed, it will go away.
it's
You
true.
know,
I love my
yeah.
black seed oil.
If you're sick, it will help you get over that cold.
Mhm.
It helps to regulate your blood sugar.
Mm.
It helps with preventing cancer. You know, these are scientific studies. You can actually look them up in peer-reviewed articles and
Yeah.
find this information. And then Shazandra, it's an adaptogen that protects and detoxifies your liver, but it also is like a whisperer, I find, amongst your organs. So,
What does that mean?
like, it helps your organs to communicate with,
Okay.
or not your organs, your systems to communicate with each other. And I learned that from another herbalist, you know,
Mhm.
shout out to elderberry herbals.
Yeah.
Um, so it depends on what's happening at that time, you know, and what you need the detoxification for. If
Mhm.
it's a matter of maybe you need your cells to be cleansed and you have like crazy acne, because acne is like your gut farting on your face, you know. Like it truly is.
That's funny.
Burdock root,
Yeah.
right? Because it cleans you out at a cellular level. It really helps with healing your skin, and it has a slightly bitter component to help your digestion.
Right.
Um, if it's a matter of maybe you're having cyst-like bumps, and you need your lymphatic system to move a little bit more, calendula, you know. So it just depends. I can't say I have like a top 3. Um,
Mhm.
one of my favorite herbs though is ashwagandha, and it's
Mhm.
not for detoxifying. It just really relaxes you.
Okay.
Like I can't. I can't say anything more than that. Like you could be close to rage, and if you take some ashwagandha, it will just calm
You're like,
you. Yes. Or, you know, at a certain dose, it can give you energy. It's known as Indian ginseng. And at a high dose, it will put you to sleep. It just does different things depending on how you take it. So
interesting.
you know, we can have that talk. And then there's nettles, you know,
Nettles, yes.
stinging nettles, which is super nutritive. And it helps with getting the excess water out of your system because it's a diuretic. You know, moringa is super nutritive as well.
Yeah.
Like there's so many that do things. It's just okay, you want to detox, but what else do you need to do with that detox? You know, what else is going on? And a lot of herbs have more than one thing they do. So maybe you have 3 herbs that work with the gut, but one works with the gut and the lymphatic system. One works with the gut and the cardiovascular system. You know, like one works with the gut and the immune system, even though the immune system is intertwined with our gut. Period. So
I would like to share your website, of course. Forgive me, I have to be taking care of other businesses while I'm enjoying the conversation in the background here. But before I get to your website, because you have a very beautiful website, and I noticed that. Hold on, let me make sure it's here. Make sure we got it. Oh, there you go. There you are in front of some type of table.
In my coat. In my yellow coat.
In your yellow coat. See, now you're gonna confuse me. They don't want the yellow. They want the white. But this is your beautiful website, Elemental Notes. And why name Elemental Notes? Why did you name it Elemental Notes?
Let's do a speed round on that, because I definitely want to talk about Dr. Sebi. He's an influence.
That's my boy. I brought him into New York twice. So yes, but that's my boy.
Okay. So Elemental Notes comes from taking notes, and elements are the rawest, purest form on our planet. When you go back down to the foundation, it's elemental, right? So take the notes from the foundation, from the rawest form, and build. It's literally just go back to the basics.
Right.
Like you say, at Elemental Notes, we're not just a brand, we're a journey deeply rooted in the healing wisdom of our ancestors and the Afro-Caribbean diaspora. Our story begins with a spirit and spice, a distinctive line of medicinal products that embodies our commitment to reconnecting communities with their natural well-being. Give that a round of applause.
Because Spagirics actually originated in ancient Egypt. Right? The medicines that I'm providing they originated in ancient Egypt. It's from our ancestry.
You know what's so funny you saying that? Dr. Sebi would not send you to ancient Egypt to go get herbs.
No, but
but
I actually did my thesis on Dr. Sebi.
But this book with Muata Ashby, oh yes, he goes right into ancient Egypt with the food and everything else.
Okay. So Dr.
You did a thesis on Sebi? You did a thesis on Sebi? Let me send this to his wife. Let me send this clip to his wife. Hold on one second. His former wife. Hold on. Yes, please, before you chat that. Go ahead, talk. I'm gonna
what's happening right? What's happening right now?
I'm sending that you said a thing. I'm sending it to his son.
Okay. Yes.
So he can watch it while
you
talk.
Because he spoke about the African biomineral theory, and he speaks about eating non-hybridized foods and the alkalinity, and Spagirics, because you're adding those trace minerals and electrolytes back into the formula, it's bringing the formula to be more alkaline. Alcohol is acidic, right? So it really helps the pH. And my thesis was on what Dr. Sebi does, how he proved his case in the New York Supreme Court. And if you actually watch the TLC documentary on Netflix right now, they talk about Lisa Lopez going to Honduras and on this retreat. They don't mention Dr. Sebi, but we know where she was, you know? And she actually spoke about him healing her herpes, right?
I don't live too far from her brother right now, where she used to live. I'm in Stone Mountain. I'm right around the corner, and I'm right around the corner from Chili's mom right now. Literally around the corner from Chili's mom.
Yeah,
right now.
I love TLC. Love.
Okay, you love, absolutely.
So I wrote it on what he did. I wrote it on what spagyrics are. And I said, you know, if he were here today, I would love to hear what he'd have to say about spagyrics. You know, because of them being the more alkaline tincture. Mind you, there's still alcohol, there's still hybridized plants and things like that. But I would love to hear what he had to say.
He was fully against hybrid, but Dr. Africa says nature hybrids. A lot of people don't know that, but he was against hybrid fully. He was like strict. And I remember talking to KT, one of his stepsons, and KT said, you know, they're like Captain America and Iron Man. Both of them were like Captain America, and the other one was like Iron Man. And that was a deep comparison between the two, because one was strict and by the book, and the other one was willing to go anywhere into the science and go where they had to go. But it was deep. So I'm glad you did write that thesis. I just send it to him, so he's more than likely going to watch this, and he'll send it to his wife, who started that journey with Fig Tree. He's going to send it to his mother. He's going to send it to his mother, because she likes to hear people in other land masses and part of other countries to talk about what they learned from Dr. Sebi and everything. And remember, she was the one behind the scenes cooking up the herbs while he was talking. She was that's Pachamama. He used to call her Pachamama, which means Mother Nature. She's right there because she was the one doing it. It was the women that did a lot of the cooking of the herb. But Ma'a Bowman, that's a person you might want to come to in New York and go talk to and sit down and say, hey, I like this. I like what y'all been doing for years.
Is that an invitation?
Yeah, that is an invitation. Once I connect y'all, then once I connect you with the son, that's it. He got that. You know, you might want to interview her and get some, extract some information from her. And she's 75 years old now, so she's doing what she has to do and still doing it. But I'm proud of your thesis, man. And at the gist of the thesis, what did the school say about the thesis when you gave it to them?
They don't know who he is.
Jesus Christ.
Like it boggles my mind. Like, you're a herbalist. How do you not know this? This is what we do, and that's why what I'm doing is. They don't know who he is, man. It's so disrespectful. She's a real fire sign, you're a real fire sign. I mean, and being humble, and I'll be humble.
No, speak your truth.
I am, but I'm going to do it humbly. It was nice to. It's getting dark in here. Just one second.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, is she disappearing into the background?
The natural light. Yes, I am disappearing. The natural light is
it's fading.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Where's your light? Where's your ring light? What's going on here?
There we go. That's a little bit better. Sorry, guys. Beauty break.
It is the ghost from Canada. The ghost from Canada.
The Duffy.
The Duffy.
The Canadian dimpled Duffy.
Lord have mercy. The dimple. Hey, that's a cute one. The dimpled Duffy.
Dimpled Duffy. Yeah. So you're talking about that realm. Yeah. You see the dimples.
That's a children's book right there. The dimpled Duffy.
So it was nice and it still is. I share his teachings all the time. I think it's very important to keep his spirit and his memory alive. And those who have done so in the past that are no longer here anymore. Very sad, like Nipsey and, Left Eye spoke about him, and there's many others, but it's nice to know that it was shared.
Yeah.
You know, I truly appreciate what that man has done for our community. May his spirit rest in the utmost power.
Ashe.
And I love the legacy that he's left behind. And I like that. It's so beautiful, you know? So the kids don't know who he is.
I mean, you know, they're trying. You know, Nick is supposed to come out and you know, I know the producer, and I hope that they do come out with the documentary. It's still on the cutting board. I'm hearing, so it has to be done right. You know, Nick is a Virgo. I mean, not Nick is a Libra, so he wants to bring that balance to it in some form or fashion, in their way. But hopefully, it'll come out and it will help. You know, vindicate a lot, because when things was going on after he transitioned, there was a lot of craziness going on out there, and I was right there in the midst of it trying to defend him. But you know, I'm glad for people like yourself and those who understand that he brought a perspective, just like Paul Goss did, just like Queen of Ford does, just like Dr. Africa did, just like Dr. Phil Valentine, who is a hygienic herbalist. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got their angles. Everybody got, and y'all are the new ones, because these guys are getting old and they transitioning. So y'all are the new herbalists that's going to be doing what you have to do, and you're going to get scrutiny from the world. But when things go wrong, my dear, don't go with it. Just keep on doing your work. Yes. Don't worry about everybody else, because there's always going to be haters. People hate me because I smile too much. F them. I got teeth. I keep them teeth. I got a dentist appointment next week. Clean my teeth. My teeth clean.
Thank you.
Yes, so I just encourage you to keep on going. You know, I spoke 10 years ago. I spoke in front of one of Queen of Four's sacred women, and I told them, Queen is gonna pass on one day. And Queen looked at me like, you know, Queen, you know me already. Queen gonna pass on one day. It's what you do with this information on your own time. Don't depend on Queen. Go do what you got to do. Go do your studies. Go study the Muata Ashbys and all the rest of these great ones that are still putting out the work in Florida right now, going to Kemet and finding the herbs and its comparison and the history. So, you know, study, and then after that, study yourself. So I encourage you, and I know Kerry encourages you to keep on doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
You're welcome. You had another question before we finish, Kerry?
No.
I do want to talk about what she's doing in Ghana.
Yeah.
And last but not least, let's close that out. My dear, you said earlier before we came on that you are contributing to a village in Ghana to help out, and I've got it. I have the PayPal link in the description in the chat, and it's pinned to the top of the chat. But it's a PayPal that you can share. Spread some love. Spread love. Spread love. Spread love. Don't spread hate. Yes. Spread love to what she's doing in Ghana. Tell us about what's going on in Ghana with you, my dear.
Okay, so Mama is an elder in a village in Ghana, and the people of this village who work within the village, some are outside, but work within the village with the small children. They don't have a daycare, they don't have a nursery. And their kids are having to go to school outside of the village, which means they're not being raised within the village, within the elders of the village. And, you know, Mama, the last time I saw her, we spoke about this, and I had mentioned that I was going to be on your show. And I asked her, you know, how much do you need? And she told me, and I said, well, I know that the show has a lot of supporters, and that's the support I'm going to ask for. I'm not going to ask for support for myself. I'm going to ask for support for the village, because it's paying it forward. So I would love for them to be able to set up their nursery, set up their daycare, so that when people come home from work, they can just pick up their kids in the village, and their children are being raised in this community. And that's what the funding is going towards. Anything that's donated is definitely going towards that.
Oh, and what's the name of the village? You know the name, or you don't want to say the name?
I would like to keep it private.
Okay.
I have the name, and I don't want to butcher it.
Right.
but it's a very small part of Ghana. It's about 2.5 hours away from Accra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my family, I just donated $50 to it. I want you to go ahead and donate $50. That's what we do. If or you can meet up, or whatever helps. I literally just donated $50 to it in the PayPal that they sent the donation, CAD Canada. So I see what is coming up. So I just donated. I like to support things that are happening, not just in Ghana, but in other places of the world. So, hey, if you can match that, or you can come on below that, or give double that, if you got it, family, remember the name of this program. Remember what the name of this channel is. This channel, the program is called Healing Vibes Show. It's the Healing Vibes Show, but the name of this particular platform is King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Simple as that. King Simon Presents Only Quality People, not about the quantity, because quantity, you got a whole lot of drama when you have a whole quantity of people. But when quality comes together, people with quality spends money. Quality people spends money. Quantity people just want to listen and don't want to contribute and don't want to do nothing. That's why my brethren Chronic said, we do it for the love, we don't do it for the likes. That's what we do. We do it for the love. And he's from Spanish Town, just like I'm from Spanish Town. So we do what we have to do for the love and not for the likes. You understand? So my 50 is in. It's going to come back. It's called circulating, because if you circulate, it comes back to you. That's what I learned from Reverend Ike and great other speakers. When you circulate your funds, it comes back. Yeah. I don't spend money anywhere. I circulate money. I don't pay bills. I circulate to bills. And it always comes back. I guarantee you, I'm going to get another $100 or $200 right after this in the next hour or a few hours. I already know. Mm-hmm. That's how I live.
Manifestation out there. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Manifestation.
All in that abundance.
Yes, that's right.
Nairobi, we have Dr. Vibe in the audience.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Vibe. Big up your chest, Dr. Vibe. Y'all should check out the Dr. Vibe show. Yes.
Greetings, Dr. Vibe. Bless up.
He's very Blackalicious, as he would say.
Well, Dr. Vibe, make sure you put our donation in there, Put our donation, Dr. Vibe. We call it, we vibing. I put in $50 just now. If you can meet it, meet it. If you can't meet it, then double it. Have some fun with it. And share it. This is where we're doing the donation for the village in Ghana to help them to stay there at their school system and have a good time. And I understand. My father's side said they come from Ghana and all that. Matter of fact, they said our tribe is Ashanti. That's what they were saying, that our tribe is Ashanti. So, and every time I run into the elders in America, the Ashanti elders, they always say, "Boy, you look like one of the Ashanti boys." And I say, "Yeah, my father said that." I didn't realize Jamaica, but even though history through traveling, going back and forth to Ghana as a missionary, but he also went there to study and get the history. So big up to my pops, still alive, doing this thing in Florida. Blackalicious, okay, Blackalicious, okay. Dr. Vibes, big up, But we're happy that you have a Kerry. Anything you want to say before we let our beautiful sister go?
Thank you so much for coming and sharing your heart, your knowledge. Your wisdom is so vast, and we are definitely so blessed to have you, and to have you, as an individual who operates from our heart space, and you just want to help and see us do well. So no, I don't have a question for you. I just want to give you your flowers, because I love everything you do. You're an awesome human.
Good.
So,
I thought she was going to close out like she was Russell Simmons from Def Jam. Wait a minute. Russell. Really? Oh, well, thank you very much again, my dear. I want to give you a well-deserved round of applause and hope to meet you one day. I don't know if you're ever in America, or I don't know when I'm coming back to Canada. But I hope to meet you one day.
We're going to meet.
We're going to meet. I got a great event coming up. If you want to come down, I told Kerry-Ann she got to come in October for this tribute to Dick Gregory, who was one of those pioneers in health. This is my thing that I'm doing, a tribute to Dick Gregory with Baba Ashra Kwesi. He's going to be in the building closing out the whole thing. And my boy, Dr. B. Sirius will be speaking. Myself, I said if Kerry come in, and if you come, you can say a few words about what you're doing also. It's going to be October 13th at Stone Mountain, Georgia, right at a Black-owned and operated venue, tribute to Dick Gregory. That's going to be a powerful thing. And it's my 29th year in promotion and production celebration. So that's what we're celebrating. It's my 29 years doing it professionally in promotion and production. I started when I was 12, but professionally I started in the year 1995. And the first promotion I did was Luciano and Kirpatan. St. Mary, we come from. That's where we come from. Yeah.
How far is that?
Come on out. You need to come on out and get Kerry. You and Kerry, come on out, man. She needs a traveling buddy. Come on out. You know what I'm saying?
Say the word. Say the word, Kerry.
I got a room. I got a room for y'all. I got a room for y'all if y'all want to come. I got a room for y'all, and we just go down. And I'm like 10 minutes away. I'm 10 minutes away from the venue. 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
How far is that from Savannah?
Oh, Savannah is 4 hours, girl. Stop playing.
I don't know Georgia like that.
Yeah, I'm 30 minutes from Atlanta. 30 minutes from Atlanta, but I'm in Stone Mountain. Savannah, my son lives in Savannah. He's out there. Him and his wife out there. 30 minutes with 3 children. They doing their thing over there. So, but no, But you have family in Savannah?
Yes.
Oh, see, that's why you gotta come to Stone Mountain or Atlanta. Stop playing, girl. Stop playing.
I have family in Atlanta too. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. We're so glad we had this time together.
Well, I got one for you before I go.
Yeah.
So Elemental knows our slogan is embrace your healing rhythm, and Elemental Notes is here for you and me. We've got that natural remedy.
Right.
Bogo to that one. Bogo. You know what? We forgot to talk about the breath work. Please, let's talk briefly about the breath work.
Yes.
Let's talk briefly. Let's talk about the breath work.
People, don't leave. Don't leave.
Don't leave yet. No leave. No leave the house. Matter of fact, I'm going to lock down the door and shut everybody inside.
Yeah, breath work is so important. So
yeah, talk about the breath work.
Breath work does so many things. The main reason why I love it is it really brings you back to the source of who you are, helps you to connect with source. It detoxifies, it helps with inflammation removal. It also helps to release emotional trauma. And when we think about energy doesn't actually belong to us. It's not stagnant, it's constantly moving. It's very similar to how you said you circulate your money. We circulate energy. And when energy becomes trapped, just think of like the Roadrunner or the Tasmanian devil in a cell trying to get out. You know, it's not supposed to be in there. So it starts to breed, it starts to ripple out in other ways, and it can cause illness and disease. So when we think about emotions, like energy trapped in motion, and when it's blocked, it can cause disease. If you look at, there's one book by Louise Hayes. It's called You Can Heal Your Life. And
I have that book. Yes, I do have that book.
And she gives every disease and illness a thought process. The thought process that you may have and the thought process that would be best for you to embody. Like eczema, for instance, it's like mental eruptions, you know, or with your throat, anything with your thyroid, you may not be speaking up, you know, you might be blocking it. So when we have this energy or this emotion trapped, it can cause disease. And when we do breath work, it gives us the ability to release this emotional trauma and bring mental clarity, to let go of anxiety and stress, and to put more oxygen in our body from a scientific level, which will help us get rid of more carbon dioxide, more inflammation, and we can get rid of it through breathing. It might help our detoxification pathways to increase, like our urine or fecal matter. So we'll have bigger bowel movements. We might go to the bathroom a lot more. But the point is, it starts to clean you out from a spiritual, emotional, mental, even an astral level, and a physical level as well. So breath work, again, helps you to return to source. When we go days without food, where we can do that. If we go days without water, we can do that. But if we go minutes without air, it causes severe brain damage. So that's how important our breath is. Taking some time to do breathing, whether it's, maybe 15 to 20 minutes in the day and then 15 to 20 minutes in the night, it all adds up. And if you're someone who actually deals with high anxiety, maybe it's social anxiety, maybe it's a lot of stress from work, if you take the time to do some deep breathing, it really supports your nervous system and getting you out of that survival into the rest and relaxation. So it activates your...
So, sister, let me ask you a question. The difference between nose breathing and mouth breathing, please.
Okay. So what I would...
For them, yes.
What I would say about that, and this is just from teachings that I've had, your mouth deals more with your musculoskeletal system, and your nose deals more with your organs. Your mouth deals more with your physical, your nose deals more with your spiritual and mental. So it depends on what aspect you're looking at. If I'm guiding a breathwork journey, I always ask what the person's intention is and what their affirmation might be. And based on that, I decide if we're going to do mouth or nose, or mouth and nose. And then we go from there. So it just depends. But the mouth tends to be a little upregulating depending on the type of breath work you're doing. And the nose can be regulating. Again, it depends on the type of breath you're doing. There's tons of breath work, different types of breath work. So if it's just to release anxiety, like the nose for 5 seconds inhaling and then 5 seconds exhaling. If you do that in the morning, try it. Tell me how you feel. 15 minutes. Just try it. It's amazing. It's a great way to start your day off.
Beautiful. We've been running her website. Of course, the website is right here, elementalnotes.ca, elementalnotes.ca. Perfect. That was a great ending. And people, please breathe.
Breathe. Yes. 5 seconds in through the nose. 5 seconds out through the nose.
Yeah.
Feel the rhythm of your breath. Embrace your healing rhythm.
Right.
I mean, I was taught that in martial arts for years, and that helps us to calm when we're combating and dealing with grappling and all that. In the grappling field, you have to breathe and be able to breathe out and relax, and so you can be able to twist and throw somebody where you got to throw and find their center. So I do that every day in this house. And in the backyard, I'm just breathing with the trees, talking to them, and just breathe. And then, I'm gonna start naming them.
Yes,
I totally am about the breath, the nasal breath, the deep diaphragmatic breath,
the fire breath, the somatic breath, like you got up there, the fire breath, all of that. So it's thank you very much for that. We hope don't be a stranger to the channel. And like I said, y'all are on my guest list if y'all want to come. I'll even have y'all say a few words if you're coming in October. Right now, the award show is already almost sold out, and now we already got the Gathering of the Masters sold out. We have successful shows out here, so you want to be here with your products and your stuff. I'm telling you, y'all can share my table if y'all want. So if you want to come, and I love to see a Canadian representation at my event. That I could say, yo, them people from Canada, make sure you support them. Them in our place with us.
You have to say the A. You have to say the A.
Canada.
A.
Oh yeah. I'll see. No, my cousins say that. They still in Canada. They say A. I ain't saying A. Y'all say A.
You gotta say A to be honorable Canadian.
I know it.
Yeah, right? I know A. It sounds just like my cousins. They still saying that. Oh my goodness, but this has been fun. Thank you very much for coming on, and thank the audience for putting in those beautiful comments, those that are coming in with the comments and all that. And of course, appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you too. Appreciate you too. What's her social media? It is, of course, at elemental elementalnotes.ca. That's IG at elementalnotes. And I had it up here. I have it up here. So let me put it. Let me put it back up there so people can see. There it is, right there. It's right there on the bottom there, and the PayPal is also there. And that's the PayPal to spread love. Like I said, if you can match my 50 or come under it, whatever works. You know, Ghana is not. You know, I have a friend that go back and forth to Ghana too, and help to contribute with certain villages. So it's all about helping as much as you can the motherland and different parts of the motherland. But thank you very much, Nairobi, for whatever you're doing, and keep on doing what you're doing. All right.
Yes, and thank you guys for having me on such a beautiful platform. I love the matrix scene in the back. I love your energy. I love the flow of the show. Like, honestly, big open chest. I love you. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
All right, you be safe. Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause for coming in and being a part of the journey. Where's my applause button? Lord have mercy. See you there? All right. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, Canada, hey.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Take care, darling.
Guys.
All right. All right. Man, that was fun. That was fun. That was fun. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, all right, my dear. We went over time. It's your bedtime, you know, come in or you are asleep.
You always say this. And I'm like the night of some owls.
I know, right? Are you up? You don't stay up late, do you? Do you stay up late to study, or you wake up early to study?
I am up. So we're regulating that. We're regulating that in this whole process. Yeah.
Yes. She's doing some great things now. So look out for her to shine or do what she got to do when she comes back. So respect to her.
I know. And before we let you all go, if you're in Toronto, please come out to this. I'm doing a sound bowl meditation in the park by the lake. And it's open space. You bring your mat, you bring your eye mask, you bring your sheet. If you get cold, it's like blazing outside. I doubt you'll get cold, but just in case. And we are gathering and we are allowing ourselves to co-create and co-heal ourselves with the universal energies that are coming into the planet. It's happening on August 8th, which is 888. So right. August is the 8th month, the 8th day. And yeah, the 2024 is the 8th year. So it's a powerful day. You know, it's normally, each year, 888, it's known as the Lion's Gate portal, where really intense, powerful energies come into the planet, and the powers that be usurp the energies without us even knowing. We want to be ahead of this, and we want to utilize these energies to help ourselves to grow and really move with the planet, and alchemize ourselves and heal. This is why I'm doing this cleansing, this fasting, to be in alignment with all of what is happening in the ethers and within our own bodies, because we're interconnected with the cosmos and the earth. So yeah, I would love it if you guys come out. It's free.
And DM her through Kerry-Ann Ingram. Kerry-Ann Ingram at Instagram, of course. And I want to suggest something, because it just came to me, because we used to do this back in the day in New York. Because it's going to be the 888 paradigm, just draw or at least make crop circles like the 8 right across and make them stand around it or stand in it, and get that in the park while you're in that. Just make, if you have a good holistic paintbrush or whatever, you can make the 8, because we used to do that. And we used to have to stand on each 8 and jump from one circle to the other and release balloons, helium balloons, so it can go. And what we used to do is write the names of the person that hurt us or the situation that hurt us, and we'll just stand in the circle of the 8 and watch it until it disappears. However long it takes, that's how long you've held on to it. That's how long you held on to that energy that hurt. But the more you watch it until it disappears, then it could free up. It's all metaphysics, but just use the 8, write it down, because it is a symbol. Use the
Yes.
888. It is a symbol. So if you write it down, don't just talk about it. Write it down, and let that, like, it's like those crop circles that they say that the aliens leave. Write
Yeah.
it down, and
So
you
question for
work
you.
it. Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am.
thank you for that. That's amazing.
That's an old
Addition.
way we used to do it.
The 888, the 888. What is the numeration of this
Woo.
powerful 888?
Lord have mercy. You're pulling me out now.
I'm so sorry.
You have to remember when 8 starts to play its game and starts to reveal itself, it's not only a boomerang type number where it deals with karma, because remember, the only 2 numbers that can keep on going without stopping in its formation is 0 and 8.
Right.
Those are only 2 numbers in existence that can do that. It can just keep on going. 8 will just keep on going. That's what the infinity symbol is really mimicking. The 8 is just, it came up after the 8 anyway. So we got to remember that. So that's why people call it the infinity symbol. But really, the infinity symbol came out of the 8, because 8 was already in existence before the infinity symbol. It already was existent. So it's not the 8 reflecting the infinity symbol. That's not the case, because the infinity symbol was created in 1655. So 8 was already, and that day alone, that year alone adds up to a number 17, which is an 8. We'll figure that one out. So the 8 is a powerful number of not just karma. Karma is cause and effect. And depending on what energy a person is putting out during that Lion's Gate angelic angle number, because it's not just a Lion's Gate is the double 8. You got now 888, which is now called an angel or an angle number. And that's why your intentions have to be clear on that day. That's why my spirit told me to tell you to write the letter 8 or the symbol 8 on the floor. That's why I told you to do that. Huh? Go ahead. What you
I
said?
just got like a downloaded insight. I'm an 8, 26.
Yes.
I'm an 8.
Yes, you're born.
We're in the 8th year. Like, I'm in my 8th year cycle as well.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
This is why I felt like this urge to do what I'm doing, like to lead up to this.
That's right. Probably. That's right. That's right. So family, if you're in Toronto and you're doing it, or if you're anywhere in the world, draw the number 8, whether you draw it in the dirt, in the sand, whatever, and meditate on the frequency of what you want to boomerang back into your life. Positive, productive, what you want to repel out of your life, negative people, places, because like I always say on my live daily, that 8 can be a beauty queen or 8 can be a biatch, because it's a karmic number. Karma can be a beauty queen or it could be a biatch, depending on the person. And that's why in the 5% teachings, we called it the build and destroy number. The build and destroy in the 5% lessons under the teachings of Father Allah, who came from the Nation of Islam. The 8 is known as the building and destroy. So it's in your hands what you want to build and what you want to destroy in your life. We have that control. That's what the 8 is always reminded. That's why it's known as a disciplinary number. So if you take the time out to discipline yourself during this Lion's Gate angel and angle frequency, it's what angle you decide to take in this. And then it adds up to a 24, which deals with compassion and also laying a foundation to heal, because it leads to the number 6 to bring balance, harmony, ma'at, truth, justice, reciprocity, healing, and forgiveness to the world. And project it to the world as well as projected it into your own world when you're using this 888 symbolism. I'm more than likely going to teach on it that day anyway. I'm going to break it down. I'm gonna write it on the board and show you why the energy. You start noticing that it looks like it when you write it. You start noticing that it looks like you're looking in 2 eyes. Like there's 2 eyes that you're looking in, and it's looking back at you, and you're looking at it. It's looking back. Anything that you could look into, there's something looking back, and you're starting to form that sigil and that eye of it. See, that's the only thing. Look at the symbol. Just like a circle, just like the 0, it can keep on going like this. And in certain systems, the 8 is 2 zeros on top of each other. That's what makes the 8 in certain teachings. So I could keep on going with this. This is easy because it's the uploads from our infinite energy that we're connected to, and that's the infinite symbol, the infinity symbol. So it can keep on going with this information. But remember, those are doorways. When you start seeing zeros and eights or infinity symbols, those are doorways. They're like, and it looks like a face right now that I'm producing. I'm making a face right now. Look at it. It looks like a face. All I have to do is draw a head. All I have to do is draw a head. I'm making a face. And that face look alien now. You see where I'm going with it? I'm trying to show you, when you draw these sigils on the floor, these symbols, they're vortexes, they're portals. That's a portal, right? I just drew it up on. I'm gonna erase the portal because many of y'all are not ready for this portal right here. So let me get that portal out. Y'all ain't ready for that portal. That could be a scary portal for some people. But if you go with it with intentions, you got to remember. Look at your eyes. This circle is, and they go. If you cross over, it goes like an 8 too. Look at, these are portals. People not realizing that's why the Nation of Islam used to wear bow ties. Those are 8s on their infinity symbols on their neck, and that's why the Arabs used to wear the Emma. Those are infinity symbols that they're creating over their head. That's all connected to universal, different levels of universal understanding. So I was in all of that. I was in that Orthodox Islam, and I've been in the Nation of Islam. So I understood the symbolism of why they wear the bow tie around their neck, because it's infinite knowledge that they want to speak. You understand? So it's a portal. It's a portal for you to do what you got to do and make things happen in your world. And Elijah Muhammad did it well, because he was also born under that 8 frequency, because he was born October the 7th, which adds up to a number 17, which is an 8. And the one who founded and was the master, Farad Muhammad, was born on the 26th, which is the 8 of February. So again, I'm going back into certain histories, but I can endlessly keep on talking about this, because it'll keep on adding and adding up, because mathematics don't lie. It's life. So have fun, my dear, on that August 8, 2004, which is a 88. 2024, which is an 88, which is actually a 44, and then turns into an 88. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Oh, gosh. It's so much, my dear. Lord have mercy. But thank you. Well, thank you very much for pulling that out of me. So
thank you for sharing.
I was gonna leave, and there's much more. You can Google a lot of that stuff up, but you know that you're not gonna get a lot until you really delve into what the 8 and infinity symbol means, and what the circles mean, and why they're so important to recognize them as symbols, because we learn through symbolism. Through symbolism, so I'm glad that and I hope you're going to have your sound bowls out there too, my dear.
100%. I'm going to have all 7 and other instruments, just.
Again, if you're in Canada, DM her. It's easier to DM her. Or can they call this number on your flyer, or what? Can they call the number on your flyer?
Yeah, or just email me.
Wait a minute, here's the number on your flyer right here too. Yeah, that number right there.
Absolutely.
You can also text her 226-909-8363. That's 1-226-909-8363, and join her on August the 8th. Please.
Yeah.
That happens to be.
I'm gonna make the flyer and share it with you, so that.
Oh yeah. Better share. Yeah. Because that's Megan Good's birthday too. That's Megan Good's birthday. Megan Good. Yeah, that's her birthday, and she just was on Shannon Sharp's television show, and he's born on the 8th also. So, and she's making millions of people come in and watch her, because she was, she went through a lot. She's been through a lot. So it is what it is. So I'm proud of everybody that's doing their work and keeping it moving. My dear, thank you very much for being a part of the journey. You go ahead and get your rest. And thank you for the guests. And just want to remind people that we got coming up after you come back into town. We got the one, the only Joshua Sarah. Woo-wee! Math is the first sense. He got a lot of books out too. We definitely gonna promote his books and stuff. And he's been helping children. My daughter was in one of his classes too. He's definitely helped out a lot of children over the years. And I was one of the first to put him in to help him open up a lecture in front of Professor James Smalls, one of his own teachers, and he was very happy. Professor James Smalls loved him because Professor James Smalls used to have locks too, and he said, "You remind me of him. You remind me of me when I was younger." So that's exactly, Professor had locks just like that, same way when he was younger. So when you look at his old videos like that, so man, and thank you very much, Kerry-Ann Ingram. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll talk.
Yes.
And I'll close out the rest of this and keep it moving. Okay, darling?
Have a beautiful night.
Love and respect. All right. Peace and love. Take care. All right. That's the one, the only Kerry-Ann Ingram. Let's give her a well-deserved round of applause. Let me make sure that y'all, before I close out, tomorrow, more than likely, I'm going to do this lesson, part 2 of this lesson tomorrow. Retirement of negative self-talk. This time I'm going to break down the word retirement, and I'm going to break down the words negative self-talk. We got to retire. There has to be a retirement of negative self-talk. Very important. You know, so look out for that tomorrow, more than likely around 10 in the morning. Let me look at my calendar real quick. Yeah, I can do it around 10 in the morning, 10 or 11 in the morning, 8 Eastern Standard Time. This is the next lesson that I'm going to put out here. I did one today called Truth. I did one today called Trust, Trusting, and Trustworthy. It's already picking up numbers. People are calling me and texting me and booking sessions with me already, you know, because people have trust issues. And if you're going to overcome trust issues, you got to be willing to find out the true trust. Are you trustworthy? Are you true to your worth? Are you trustworthy? Are you true to your worth? Trustworthy, the root word of trust is true, and the root word of worthy is worth. Are you true to your worth? And you got to be true to yourself moving forward in life. All right. On that note, family, have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Be safe, be great, be wonderful. Once again, we want to thank the great, beautiful Nairobi Vision. I hope to meet her and Kerry-Ann in New York on that. Not in New York, but in Georgia when I do the event. And I want to meet all of y'all. So if you ever come to any of the events, whether it's the award show, whether it's the Gathering the Masters, and any one of y'all had my books, if you have my books, I will sign my books. When I'm at events, I always walk with my Sharpie to sign books, take pictures, whatever I got to do. As long as you just remember, if you're going to be at the Gathering of the Masters with me, remember I'm the MC, so I got to keep things moving. I can't give the mic to nobody. Rich don't want me to give the mic because time constraint is very important. I can't hand the mic over to anybody that have a long dissertation on the mic. I have to deal with what I have to deal with on that stage and off the stage. So enough respect to all of y'all. If y'all coming out, if you're coming to the award show and you got my book, I will sign any book that you have. Remember, they got a deal right now going on at the award show. Buy one, get a ticket for free. Buy one, get a ticket for free if you come into the award show. And you can still vote right now by 954-245-0086, 954-245-0086. You can still vote for your brother at all means, at all costs. And I will see y'all next time. All right? Peace and love. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Hey everyone, it's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I am thrilled to introduce to you an extraordinary weekend event happening right here in Miami, Florida on August 3rd and 4th. It's none other than the second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards weekend. After the tremendous success of last year's event with over 1,200 attendees from around the globe, we knew we had to make this year's event even more spectacular. On Saturday, we have a captivating conference lined up featuring world-renowned speakers such as Muhammad Ibrahim, Merkaba 13, Robert Grant, Billy Carson, and a women's panel hosted by Elizabeth Carson. Following the conference, we'll set sail for a VIP yacht cruise at sunset where you'll have the chance to mingle with your favorite nominees and celebrity guests, all hosted by yours truly, Billy Carson. On Sunday, August 4th, kicks off with a Forbidden Knowledge book publishing signing event, followed by the highly anticipated second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards. This is a red carpet affair, so come dressed to impress. Remember, last year we surprised a lucky guest with an Audi A4 during the awards, and this year we're upping the ante with a chance to win a Mercedes-Benz. So make sure you secure your tickets early. This event is sure to sell out quickly. I cannot wait to see each and every one of you there for what promises to be an unforgettable weekend.
We have a BOGO deal. So if you buy a ticket to the award show, you can get into the Forbidden Conference for free.
You can also watch the live premiere at the conference of Anunnaki Ancient Secrets Revealed.
It's going to be a phenomenal day. So make sure that you guys buy a ticket to the award show. You get into the conference for free.